the second and biggest, should I say biggest? Yes, one of the biggest processes, longest, the one that requires like the most attention, and that is developing your project management plan. Developing your project management plan. Developing your project management plan. This is what separates where benefits managers and serious professionals. The level of attention you give to this is what will determine whether your project is going somewhere or is going nowhere. If you make the mistake of just moving into a project without paying the right attention to this process, I'm trying to imagine the kind of disarray you will fall into. Because what this means is you want to enter execution without having a template on ground of how you want to proceed. You will be 99.999% reactive. And what we do now, proactive, reactive. If you are reactive, things have already happened. You are now trying to see how you. And you are trying to do this one. Something is already happening. And you are trying to attend another 10 things are already happening. So you just go overwhelmed and you are happening. So now, let's discuss this process. Your project management plan development is the process of creating an integrated project management plan. Note, integrated. I will explain that word. It's a keyword there. Now, this can include, but not limited to, your scope management plan, your schedule management plan, cost management plan, quality management plan, staffing, your resources management plan, communications management plan, risk management plan, payment management plan. One is missing. What's that? Stakeholder management. The integration plan is now this, the whole project management plan. That's the plan of the integration. And that is why you are having this one to be called an integrated project management plan. Because the plan that you produce here is the mother plan. Every other plan are parts of this plan. That's why you call it integration. You are actually, this is like the collection. This is like the tank. Every other plants are like buckets inside the tank. So, a great number of activities and documents come together to create this plan. Like I told you, it's an aggregation of many other things. And this consists of the integration of various management plans and subsidiary plans. So ultimately, this integrated document becomes the baseline to measure any performance against. So that is what you measure everything against. Don't forget, when we talked about motion and controlling, we said you are looking for what? Variance. Between what and what? What was planned and what you saw when you're executing. So what it means is when you're executing, you are comparing, when you are measuring and controlling, you are comparing what you planned, what you planned to see or to do, and what you have actually done, and what you have actually seen. So what it means is that what you planned is now that basis that you want to compare against. That's why they are saying it's the baseline that you want to measure any performance. Which kind of performance? During execution. That you want to measure against. So, our ICTOs are coming in. How we need our charter for this process. But if you stakeholder management, definitely you need a charter. So you want to pick that initial idea. That initial idea is what you will now use, you now develop on to now come up with your formal stakeholder management plan. That initial idea of the scope is what you will now develop on to come up with your formal plan of how you want to go about your scope management. So all of those plan are part of this plan. They are components of this document. That's that. Okay, what else? Input from other processes. Sorry, output from other processes. This one, if if we were to write everything here, this list will come from here, down, 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 to 7th art. There are so many. Don't forget that your planning is iterative. You understand? So many outputs of many other processes. Once they hit one issue and you want to go and replan, it's coming back here as an input to another. Because this document is not static. Don't forget that this document is a combination of more than 10 documents. So you can imagine the kind of things that are coming here. For example, you have done your scope management plan, but something is changing, requiring you to draft the plan. Something is changing in a process, in another process elsewhere, somewhere. That's requiring you to do what? To come back and redraft your plan. So to come and adjust your plan. You understand? So that thing that's happening there is bringing you back to this place. So that's why they're saying output from that process. Many other processes. Either it's coming from scope, time, this, blah, 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 blah. As long as you are redrafting a plan, you are coming back here. Then you have your EFs, normal. You have your OPs, normal. So when you hear expert judgment, what comes to your mind? Expert judgment. Somebody who has sufficient knowledge for us to rely on this. So data gathering. So here is my guy, my tricep. No matter how much you plan, no matter how well you try, no matter how detailed you push, as long as you have entered the field, things will change. So everyone has a plan that they get point in the face. That's when you are practicing for a boxing tournament or boxing competition. You say, once I enter, I also move 3 steps to the left, and then I throw the first jab, and then I move 3 steps to the right, and I throw the first jab. But at least to an extent, you still tell me. So, okay, yeah. So, you have your project management plan. Project management plan is the same thing, but it's called project management plan. So, it's a cumulative document, because you are bringing many things together. As you are getting something, you are adding it to it. You are not going to draft all those plans at the same time. At the same time, you do your scope. This, no. If you have done scope now, that's your brain on the plan. You don't do cost management plan now, add it to it. You have done another plan, add it to it. So they say it's cumulative. It contains all the documents used in the project management approach of the project. It describes steps associated with execution, monitoring, and controlling and closing the project. Essentially, the what's and the hows of how every other thing will be is what you have documented in your plan. So generally, it will include the processes associated with definition, integration, and coordination of various documents. So, as integrated change control happens, monitoring and controlling, documents should be updated to reflect changes discovered in the document.
So that one is progressive approach.
So that tells you that your pre-management plan is supposed to be progressively updated. At the beginning of the project, you can know so much. And even if you do, no stand test of time, it will always change. Okay, so now here they're telling you that your planning is iterative. They are saying that although the constraints of text and page layout can force us to depict the planning process as if it's a linear sequence of activities, this is not true, and probably should not be practiced like that in reality. I think we've explained this already. When you're writing it on paper, when you have process group, initiating, planning, executing, when you're controlling, closing. In reality, it's not like that. In reality, it's not like that. And then if you look at that your table now, you tell you, what are the planning processes? Then you pick it from the top, and you move to the next one, and move to the next one. It doesn't work like that. It's not like you now do all the planning, once you finish one, you move to the next one, once you finish one, you move to the next one. That's not how it is in real life. Look at that your table now. So it's not like planning process number one. Oh, yeah, you are done. You are finished. You are planning process number two. It doesn't work like that. You might do number 7 first. And sorry, of course, definitely, you always do your number 1. And then maybe number 9, then number 12, then back to number 2, then maybe back to number 1 again, then you go to number 7, then you go to number 3, then back to number 1 again, then back to number 3 again. So it is not, like that. So the various planning processes interact with each other, with one another. Later processes may cause you to rethink the execution and output of earlier processes. So replanning at phase gates is called progressive elaboration. What this means is at some point when you have completed something and requires you to replan, so this is also called progressive elaboration or within planning. Note, planning is done by the project team, not project manager alone. The team, don't forget that the initial planning of the project is done by project manager. Don't forget that the initial, when project starts, the project manager has not done full team recruitment at the beginning of the project. So by the time he has completed the initial planning, it goes into execution. By that time, the team will have been in place. So all the software planning activities that we will now be doing, you definitely have to carry the team along. There was a question we saw earlier that we said when something changes, what is the manager supposed to do? Can you remember at the beginning of the class? You understand? Yes. One of the options was go and report to the sponsor. And then the correct answer was what? Team and identify alternatives. That's planning now. That is planning process. The execution of alternative, that's a planning process. I mean, it's an execution process. It's a planning process now. You are identifying alternatives from which you now choose one and now move into execution. That's a planning process. But you're not doing it alone. Okay, so this is just a depiction of rolling wave. What do you mean rolling wave? As we are moving, we are getting more detail, and then the closer they are being to the correct activities. As they are getting closer to something, it's getting bigger. We are getting more details about it. So then there's this idea of don't overplan and don't underplan. I gave you an example yesterday. I said, don't use an intercontinental ballistic missile to kill a mosquito. Well, if it's a nuclear mosquito, yes. Or the mosquito is carrying a nuclear weapon. Don't use a bazooka to kill a mosquito. But the people that don't even use hammer to kill a mosquito. I've been using hammer. If you want to kill a mosquito, you take hammer. Not needed. So you should always be able to use your intuition to know the commensurate amount of planning efforts for the right amount of project scope, project complexity, or risk involved. So your challenge now as a project manager is to match the right degree of planning to the demands of the project. So you should document, you should distribute, and you should maintain the plan. You are not the only one that is going to use the plan. In fact, when you have drawn the plan, it is still a draft. You have to take it back to the sponsor. It's very important. Whatever you do, it is just a draft. When it comes to the planning, the sponsor has the final say. So when you draft, you take the sponsor, it becomes a baseline. It cannot change. If something will now require it to change, we get to the issue of integrated change control. If something will now require it to change, what will happen? That request has to go back to the sponsor. For example, you have agreed that it should be a 3-story building of 4-bedroom flats. Each of them should have boys' quarters at the back, the fence should be this tall, the something should be this. You understand? You have agreed to that with the sponsor. Sponsor said, go ahead. And then for some reason you realize that you will not be able to use that backyard for boys' quarters again. That's a fundamental change in that. You can't consider your own, it's not possible. So you have to issue a change request. Forward it to the sponsor. Sponsor, this is going to the change. There has to be a change in what you plan. Sponsor will not decide to either agree or disagree. Okay? So the project management plan is the central document that defines the basis of all project work. Why is it all project work? It's because all the various knowledge areas, the plan of all the various knowledge areas is part of the project management plan. So essentially it's as though every single aspect of the project, the what and the hows, are already defined in your project management plan. So the other 24 planning processes, they are integrated together to create the project management plan. So updates to any plans require an update to the project management plan, because all the other plans are part of the project management plan. So if you are updating any part of it, automatically you are updating the project management plan itself. So think of the project management plan as a bucket into which all the other buckets drip into. All the other plans, not process. All the other plans. So these are your 24 processes. Some of these planning processes also generate documents called subsidiary plans. Okay, for example, your plan scope management produces your scope management plan. Your plan schedule management produces your schedule management plan. Your plan cost management produces your cost management plan. Your quality management produces your quality management plans. Down, and some other plans. For example, part of your plan scope management, you also produce another plan called the requirements management plan. Some other one produces something they call your process improvement plan. Something else produces your configuration management plan. Something else produces plans. So apart from these 9 knowledge areas, you have some other plan. So you have a minimum. You have some more. Okay? So these documents are controlled by the integrated change control process. I tried to describe the change control process to you earlier, saying the moment the sponsor has approved something that go ahead, I agree to this, go ahead. That does not change again. If anything will make it change, you have to go back to the sponsor or to something to call the change control board to get there. So these are your subsidiary plans. We will come across all of them in their respective knowledge areas. And once we come across them, we will discuss them. So, what is the role of the project manager in integration management planning? So, project managers start with planning because they are responsible for pulling together all the various people for the planning and completion of the project plan, as all the documents are integrated into the project plan. Project managers are also responsible for project integration while various project pieces come together for plan completion. And project managers must be sensitive to the project's needs, especially at the key interface points of the project. So that ends that process. Plan the work. Now let us walk the plan.